Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the Shadow Shiny Lapras in the, what's it even called? Kanto Cup here. We have a very nice team. With this team I went 11-2, and I also know that a lot of really top tier players had a similar team that also played, like, completely coincidence. Like, for example, how Stark played this team, I think, with the normal Alolan Mug as like the save swap instead of the Alolan Grimer, which we have here. I just use it because I have it. And he went like really positive with this for like several sets. I only saw it like afterwards. I didn't really see, like, this team is like a combination of several different kind of teams that I saw everywhere. Like it's I haven't seen this particular team directly, but it's like not really creative, of course. We have the Shadow Lapras in the lead there, which I just built for this video because, like, why not? This is also, by the way, like the last video I have to pre-produce before Berlin. Like for me right now, it's really Friday morning at 1 AM. So, you're most likely gonna see some other stuff coming when I'm back from Berlin, like most likely about the new Pokemon, which gonna be also very exciting. So like, I hope everything worked well, because I cannot look into the future right now. It's Friday morning at 1 AM. Like, I don't know how the Go Fest went. But yeah, we see my opponent going into the Ninetales. We're gonna be able to survive this move. We see my opponent going into their Alolan Marek, Shadow Alolan Marek, and we can of course counter that with our Lapras. Lapras is a really cool Pokemon. Why is Lapras such a cool Pokemon? Skull Bash and also Ice Shard. Having basically access to Ice Shard and Surf allows you to build up a lot of pressure, especially over time, which is really annoying in the Kanto Cup. It makes it such a good Pokemon, because you're gonna do so much damage with your Ice Shard with the Ice Shard already. Ice Shard is a move that is pretty awkward actually. It's kind of interesting. It generates like 11 energy, I think, for like 3 turns, which is kind of mid-tier energy generation, but it does some nice damage, which basically means with a Shadow version like Lapras here and the Stab move and Ice being a pretty decent attack rated move, I'm gonna, by the way, call the bait here because it's my only chance of winning this, and I do, which is nice. Like, it just does damage. Like, it just does damage, and does definitely make some matchups easier over time than 2-shit scenario if they have the Shadow version of the Lapras. If you don't have the Shadow version of the Lapras, it should be fine as well. Like, normal Lapras is also fine, same with the Nidoqueen. It's all totally fine. You don't need Shadow versions for this team whatsoever. At least I don't think so, but especially the Lapras, it would be definitely a cool fit. We see a normal Nidoqueen against us. I don't know what they really want to do here. They're gonna stay in for whatever reason, as we can just take this Poison Effect. They go into that Yugong. We're gonna go for the Bubble, for the Skull Bash here. Going to do like around half his health, I think. Yep. And we can take those moves really easily because our defense is now neutral because of the debuff prior. But his moves do like no damage whatsoever. And I'm just gonna be able to build up a lot of energy and swap out with that energy, going into my Alolan Grimer, trying to farm all the way down, to be honest. I'm just actually go for another move here. I think he shield this up. Yep, they shield this up. And I can just let their move go through, and I should be able to... Oh, actually, gotta shield this up as well, which is not the right play in my opinion. I don't know why I did this, but it's okay. We can go for some crunches. I'm still not used to the new mechanic that, like, you don't... like in general, like that you have to throw that the opponent doesn't get the extra move in, and like you cannot deny anymore, which is a good thing. I just have to get used to it, like, because I actually sometimes also denied people with that pretty easily. So yeah, it's a new mechanic, you have to get used to it. My opponent goes for a double Feather Dance move here. I'm double debuff, doesn't really matter too much for me because I can just go for one Surf here. Lapras comes through, gonna KO this thing. Lapras gonna KO the Dugong here as well. And Lapras just gonna picks up 3 KOs in like 3 moves basically, which is kind of insane. Lapras just cleans up the game there. We see the opponent with a Alolan Sandslash. It's actually a Pokemon that's kind of awkward to deal with this team. I would recommend you, of course, to stay in here, but thankfully my opponent has Powder Snow, which is way better for me. We see the Bulldoze coming through, doesn't really do that much damage, and we see the Mug coming through. I should already swap out at this point of time, but I'm kind of stupid, making a kind of misplay, going for the Surf here, and trying to catch the move on my normal Grimer, which was not the right play, but it's fine. We can take those Dark Pulses. I can take another Dark Pulse as well, and I should be able to farm my opponent all the way down, which allows me then to get to some crunches, and those crunches gonna be pretty nice. As we see the Sandslash coming in, we can go for one crunch. This crunch would KO my opponent, and they know about this, and they can sadly find me down. Well, it's fine, we can go for another surf, and I don't think they're gonna want to like risk it and like shield another one, and they don't, and we see the Pidgeot coming in at this point of time. We have 2 shields, we still have our Lapras in the back. This game is over, we can just debuff my opponent, and we're gonna be able to win this game fairly easily, as the opponent goes here for Feather Dance. It doesn't really matter. We can go for some Poison Fangs, and we just gonna be able to farm him all the way down. Good game to my opponent. Next up, we're gonna have a Lapras against a Hypno, which is totally fine for me. I can just farm up extra here, and I can go for 5. I'm gonna do like 15 turns with this. They do 16 turns, so they cannot get to another move. I'm gonna go for one more quick move and then swap out. This is what I always do, because this allows me to catch the move a lot of times, which, even though it's like over farmed, it's pretty easy to catch it like this. We see the Lickitung coming in. Lickitung actually is a really decent matchup for the Grimer. I wish my Grimer wasn't a Shundo, because if my Grimer wasn't a Shundo, I would have been able to have this matchup a little bit easier, as we're gonna go now for one Sludge Bomb, which does slightly more damage than one Crunch, which allows me now to farm all the way down, realign my Pokemon, going to my Lapras against this also Shadow Shiny Hypno, which is also really cool. As we go for one Surf, we're on the Surf gonna go through, and we're gonna be able to now see the Chansey coming in, which we can counter with our own Nidoqueen. This Nidoqueen gonna be pretty easily going for some Poison Fangs. I'm gonna go for 2 Poison Fangs here. I'm gonna try to then go for one Earth Power, which should KO my opponent's Chansey here, as Chansey is one of the most annoying Pokemon in this kind of meta. We see the Psychic coming through, which can shit up, and now we're gonna be able to hit a double debuffed Earth Power on this thing there, and this Earth Power is still not gonna KO this thing. Chansey is just way too bulky, as we're gonna snipe my opponent's Hypno here with our Lapras, and Lapras actually gonna still be able to survive all the moves from Chansey while winning the game here, just firing it down with the Ice Shot damage. It's like Shadow Lapras in general is like such a cool Pokemon. It's kind of sad that we haven't had this Pokemon in there for ages. I hope that the next rotation maybe puts this back in, because Shadow Lapras is actually really cool, but because they made it as a shiny version as well, like the one that I have here, they can only give it to the Rocket Leaders for now on, because like otherwise you can also get the shiny version from normal grunts, and like Niantic doesn't want to do this, which I don't really understand. Like, why do you not do it? Like, okay, grunts have a 1 in 450 chance of giving you the shiny Pokemon, like the normal full odds, and the leaders have like a 1 to 60 rate, and like everybody would be happy. Like, why do you have to lock it behind the leaders? Oh wait, money, I forgot about that. Well, it's fine, as we're gonna go for one Crunchy KOing the Sandshrew. We see the Hypno coming in. They have to throw the charge move here, which gonna be the Thunder Punch, and we can go into our own Nidoqueen here real quick, and we're gonna be able to farm them down. They go for a Fire Punch, not really too threatening. We see the Lickitung coming in here, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna stay in, and I don't think this was the right play of staying in. I tried to catch the Body Slammer, was a little bit too late, and now I actually don't know why I was already so low at the Lapras. Before I swapped in, I was already in the green half, and I think I was not that close towards the red half. It's kind of insane, which doesn't matter here, because they're still going to be able to get to a Power Whip finishing off this game. Good game to my opponent. We see next up Hypno against us again. We're going to go for 5 moves again. We're going to try to go for our Servant, and we're going to try to also catch the move on our Grimer again, which usually works out pretty well. As we're gonna do the same thing, and the same thing works again, and it's so easy to predict my opponents. As we see the Thunder Punch coming through, which doesn't do really any damage, and they're gonna swap out into their Blastoise, which is a pretty okay matchup for us. We're gonna be able to hit the charge move here already, as we're gonna shield up my opponent's charge move. We're gonna try to get the debuff with the Crunch here. This is my main objective anyway in this kind of matchup, as water types in general is a little bit tricky for this team. And we're gonna try to now farm down with our Lapras. This should only be a Hydro Cannon, and it's only be a Hydro Cannon, which is really good, as we're gonna be able to farm all the way down. Now we have all the moves stored. My opponent goes into the Hypno. They throw a Thunder Punch into my Nidoqueen, and my only play what I have to do here is just gonna go straight for the Earth Power, and I can win if I shield this move up here. And it's gonna be the Earth Power, and no matter if he shields here or not, I'm gonna be able to win this game. And they'd actually decide to no shield, because like this was the only play. If I went for a bait there, they had a chance, but I didn't go for a bait, so good game there. We see a Pidgeot and we see also the Lickitung coming in. Lickitung doesn't really like to see, of course, our Grimer, which is fine. While the Pidgeot is actually pretty okayish against everything, but like not too crazy, so we should be fine as well here. As we see the Lickitung going through, the Lickitung going for the body slams, and the Lickitung going to be able to put me into red health, which maybe in hindsight I should have tried to catch, or like in general, like try to save my Grimer, but it's fine. We can put him basically into red health, which is kind of nice. Farm down with the Nidoqueen here, seeing what my opponent gonna have in the bag. As we're gonna see and then my opponent gonna go into their Pidgeot, of course, and they're gonna stay in for a little bit, which means that they're kind of low most likely, but they actually have a Lapras in the back. They catch perfectly against my own Lapras, and at this point of time, this game is basically decided towards my opponent. I should have played it a little bit better, I guess. They're gonna shield out the Skull Bush, as they're gonna go for another one, and I'm just gonna let this go, expecting my opponent to bait, and I was wrong. And like this, I'm gonna lose this match, even though I was like in such a good position, just because of my capability of not being able to call the bait there. Or do we actually lose this game? This is the question here. We can go for one more Poison Jab against this Lapras, and we're gonna be able to put him very low. We see the Pidgeot coming in here again, and we can go for our Poison Fang. And we still have a shield left. We have like 1 HP and a Dream left here, as we're gonna shield up this Feather Dance, and we can go for the Poison Fang, but I don't think this is enough to KO my opponent afterwards, as they're gonna go in and we actually gonna be able to still win the game here for whatever reason. Like, I was so surprised that I still won the game. I still couldn't believe it. We have a very nice lead here for us. We see the Lapras coming in, and because my opponent was like 1 turn too late, because we of course won the lead there, we can go for the Skull Bash immediately, and this makes such a big difference in this matchup. Unless my opponent gonna bait me here with like a Surf, which I don't think they're gonna do, which they are not going to do, I'm gonna be able to win this matchup back, which is all I really want anyway, so I can just go for my Skull Bashes, and I already hit this now, and I can just go ahead, farm up extra energy, and I should be fine, as we have way more health because we have the more defense drops against my opponent. And they go for another move here, gonna be only the Surf, as we're gonna be able to go for our own Surf, and this own Surf gonna do enough to KO this thing. We can go for another one, spamming this immediately against this incoming Pokemon, as this gonna get a shield. And we just gonna let this go through. We go into our own Nidoqueen, and unless my opponent gonna catch my charge move, I'm gonna be able to win this game pretty easily, as they are trying to do it with their Pidgeot. But I can go for one Poison Fang, I can debuff my opponent's defenses, and I'm gonna be able to now just farm up extra, go for the basically the Earth Power up there, and we see that we can farm down this Pidgeot with our Grimer. And this is all that I actually need, because Grimer is just so good. I can just go ahead and spam all those crunches here. We need one more crunch to win this game, and the crunch comes through, and we're gonna be able to win this game pretty easily because of our Alolan Grimer being such an amazing pick. We see Hypno against us in the lead. Again, we're gonna do the same as always. We're just gonna go for 5 moves, throw our Surf, and try to catch after one more quick move. My opponent is already like ages ago like at the move, but my opponent doesn't throw this time around, and they're just gonna get some extra energy, and they can align their own Nidoqueen against me, which is kind of awkward, as yeah, we just gonna be able to shield this move up actually, because I expect them to go for the Earth Power, and they go for the Earth Power, and we can just go ahead and go for some more crunches, trying to KO this Nidoqueen, which worked out actually pretty well because they let it go, and we see a fighter in the back. And at this point, I'm kind of sorry for my opponent, because they don't know, of course, yet. This fighter doesn't do anything whatsoever against my Nidoqueen. They're gonna swap out into their Hypno, and there's not a lot that they can do here anymore. They go for the Shadow Ball, which was something I should have shielded, to be honest. I don't know why I didn't shield this move, but I'm gonna shield this move for whatever reason, which, yeah, I can just farm all the way down. And we can go for one Surf here. My opponent expect me to be next to out of energy at this point of time. And we can still get to another one because they just didn't expect it whatsoever. Really nice for us, winning us the game. And we can go into the final game now, as we're gonna see the Lapras against the Snorlax in the lead. Kinda awkward. We're gonna go ahead and go for the Grimer swap, which should be fine as we resist the lick damage, as they still gonna go for one Body Slam here, which gonna still demolish me. And it doesn't look too good either here, as we gonna see that my opponent gonna bring in a normal Mug, which can just farm me all the way down, as you can see, as there's nothing that I can really do about this. But my opponent really decides to just go ahead and yeah, go for the Dark Bolts and not farm me down, which is fine, as we're gonna be able to now farm down with our Lapras. And yeah, the acid spray doesn't really matter too much. We just gonna swap out. We see the Grimer coming in from my opponent, and I'm just gonna go ahead and try to go for some baits, because we need some baits in this current situation. They of course get the debuff, which makes it all a little bit more awkward. And yeah, we see the Snorlax coming in. We go for the Earth Power. Do we get both shields at the same time? We will be able to get actually both shields, which makes us all a little bit more awkward. We have to try to win this game now with our Lapras, but I can assure you, we just gonna try the best, and I think this is enough. We have to see this gonna KO the Snorlax, and it's also gonna be a little bit closer against this Alolan Grimer here, as we gonna not do enough damage, but now we do, and this is gonna be it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you next video. Have a great rest of the day. You should see some Go Battle League content in general, like some content about the Go Fest soon here, hopefully. So see you then, and bye.